Okay. Do we have... Yeah, guys. We're doing a reaction. Another one. So, this is one I've been dying to do. Demeech's Switch Sports Review. Mario Kart Wii 8 is now... Okay, so here we go.
You are now watching demeechs.
Here we go.
The time has finally come, hasn't it? Many have
Yep.
wanted a new Wii Sports game for many years, and considering the last one being Wii Sports Club was more of a remake and a weird experiment.
Before we begin, I need to check the audio. Here we freaking go. Ooh, Red Hood versus Arkham Knight. I'm not gonna lie, Arkham Knight was better, depending on how much I hate that game. I have my bias with Arkham Knight. I think the Cloudburst was probably the best thing that's ever happened in that game. Before we begin, I need to... Yep. Alright, here we go.
You are now watching
I'll put in theater mode. Because my girlfriend's a theater kid. I'm doing this for her.
The time has finally come, hasn't it? Many have wanted a new Wii Sports game for many years, and considering the last one being Wii Sports Club was more of a remake and a weird experiment, there was a lot to be desired. Seeing how Wii Sports could evolve sounded incredible. Wii Sports Resort took the original Wii Sports and expanded on it in every way imaginable.
One of the best games ever made.
After nearly a decade and a half,
one of my
we
favorites.
finally got a Wii Sports successor. The catch is that instead of evolving, it seemingly devolved. Nintendo Switch Sports. What caught everyone off guard was the removal of the established Mii's for the new Sportsmates characters. All the Wii series games have Mii's, so to see Wii Sports return without them was incredibly jarring. Could you imagine if a Metroid game didn't feature Samus to make room for generic-looking robots? Oh wait, need I say more? The lack of Mii's is a major issue considering that you're constantly looking and interacting with characters, but while everyone was screaming about Matt, there was a far greater issue in the shadow. Come on guys, it's just Matt. What Nintendo will do is release a game in a state with very little content and cleverly disguise finishing the game as free updates. It's extremely tricky, and many have been tricked into thinking these patches are free DLC. Even myself. I will never forget how swindled I felt after playing Mario Tennis Aces.
He lost his mind in that review.
Sports would seemingly do the same. You may be wondering why I bought the game. Some may say my points are invalid because I bought the game, but the alternative is that I get a bunch of comments saying my points are invalid because I emulated the game. If you attempt to call me out for buying the game, I'm just going to ignore you. Cool? Cool. Except this is a perfectly reasonable question considering my strong resentment of the game, and not giving an answer would be rather pretentious. The answer? There's an excellent solution if you want to play or review a game that you don't want to support. Buy it secondhand. Getting a game used does not benefit a developer. That way you're getting a retrospective, and Nintendo doesn't get a cent out of me. I will always be honest about my thoughts, even if they antiquate my first impressions. I'd love to be proven wrong. So the question is, does Nintendo Switch Sports achieve the goal of being a new iteration of Wii Sports, or is it as disappointing as a gutter ball? Starting off,
you had to use Toad Harbor.
The elephant in the room. The first thing you'll do in Switch Sports is create your character. I assume the resentment towards the Sportsmates primarily had to do with them replacing Mii's, because the general designs for the characters look quite good. They look similar to Animal Crossing villagers, and for a sim game, they'd...
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pause in between. If they had the thing is, if these guys were like the secondary, like it was Mii's versus these guys, it would have been like a cool thing. A little customization, you know, get some... You know, these look like discount Animal Crossing characters. I'm sorry, but... Jesus. Oh my god, these look like these wannabe... These guys are like trying to dress up as Splatoon characters, but they just can't find the costumes.
Fit in quite well. So what's the issue? Not only do they replace the Mii's, but they do an absolutely awful job at doing so. I've seen the claims saying people are only upset about Mii's not being the focus because of nostalgia, or that Mii's are somehow outdated. And I have a response. There's nothing wrong with the Mii's. There's a reason why Mii succeed in a world of
Literally none.
cringe-inducing avatars, and I've boiled it down to a science. The Miis do not attempt to be more than what they are. They're caricatures and are not designed to look realistic, but there are so many customization options that Miis can still be very creative. On the other hand, avatars such as Samsung's AR emojis fail
God.
because they try to look realistic despite the limited customization. Now let's take a look at the Sportsmates. The Sportsmates are stylized, but there's next to no customization. Take a guess how many hairstyles there are by default. 25, 15, only 6. And the
What?
ones that they chose are very specific and not even standard. You can't even wear a hat or go King Neptune. Not only that, you can't even have a mustache or glasses by default. Yeah, real worthy of replacing Mii's. But guess what? You can unlock more customization options. But with the default options, you're better off just using a Mii. Sure, they look out of place, but it beats the alternative. Let's check out the sports and see if we can unlock something as earth-shattering as glasses or my own freaking hairstyle. There are as many sports as there are hairstyles. Only 6. This is half the amount of resort, not even counting the additional modes. But maybe it's a quality over quantity thing, even though Wii Sports Resort managed to have both quantity and quality. But we gotta give Japan's biggest...
I hate when people say quality over quantity. No, I'm sorry, but you gotta have both, because if you don't have both, you're not looking at a good game. Listen, I would originally say that, but I would be, if I was like, you talked to me in 2018, the only complaint I would have with Kirby Star Allies was that it wasn't 60 FPS. Now, I wish the game had more content, and I am literally never touched that game in a while. Has demeechs changed my mind on that? Yeah, he kind of has. But do I still think Star Wars is a good game? Oh, yeah, duh. I haven't played Forgotten Land yet, and I have to. But I feel like I should play it. Kirby Star Forgotten Land demo kind of disappointed me, but we'll see how it goes. And
company some slack. They're really struggling, aren't they? Poor indie developers. First up is tennis. Considering Pong is going to be half a century old, tennis is about as classic as it gets for a video game. Tennis in Switch Sports is no exception. It plays virtually identically to how it did in Wii Sports and in Wii Sports Club. It's what you would expect, and I'm definitely fine with that. But unfortunately, there's a lack of options. You can only play doubles with no option for singles. Some may argue it was the same in Wii Sports, so that makes it okay here.
Yeah, but no. I'm gonna fight you on that because yeah, there's a problem where you can't do that. But if you have the game on emulator, you can do singles. I don't know if it goes for Switch Sports, but you can play singles if you have the emulator. If you use Dolphin, you can play singles with the Gecko code. It never worked for me, so probably I have to do something. Probably it doesn't, but it showed 1v1 tennis. If you guys remember that stream. But as long as it's there, just to prove a point.
It was the same in Wii Sports. I didn't like it there either. It's ridiculous that some think just because a prior game did something, it's okay to do it.
I'm not gonna lie, this looks better than this.
It's solid enough. It's 1 sport out of 6, so we're off to a pretty good start. My favorite sport in any of the Wii Sports games is hands down bowling. The concept is simple, but there's a lot of strategy involved. It's very close to how bowling is played in real life. Despite my gripes with Switch Sports, I assume bowling would still be just as good as it was before. But unfortunately, Nintendo dropped the ball here. I would say throw the ball behind, but this is Switch Sports. You can't do that. Nintendo doesn't care.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm quite good at bowling in Wii Sports, but to get there, I had to figure out which strategies would be the best to use, especially in the more intuitive Resort and Club. But in Switch Sports, it's simplified to the point where if you find a good angle, you can keep getting strikes and spares. It's nowhere near as precise as even the original.
What? No. No. I did not just see that. I did not just see that. There's a timer? This better be online play. Because if there's a timer in regular... Oh no, yeah, this game sucks.
Even the original, the pins also don't feel as satisfying to knock down. Now this relates more to the general presentation, but it does take away the immersion. Don't get me wrong, bowling can still be fun, but it's by far my least favorite way to play it in any of the Wii Sports games. Oh boy, I can't wait to play Chum Bucket. Next up is Chumbara, better known to the Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is Too Difficult group as swordplay. This is the only returning sport from Resort, but unlike bowling, I found it to be just as good, if not a bit better than how it was in
Yeah,
Resort.
the
There are
armor
just
was
between
better
the
in
three different
Resort.
swords, my favorite being the twin swords. The different swords don't change up the gameplay too much,
Okay,
but
that's a
having
good
the
idea.
options is nice. Your main goal is to knock your opponent down into a fountain in front of a mason.
Ooh.
Wow, such high stakes considering you'd plunge into the ocean in Resort, but overall, it's pretty fun and the movement is rock solid. Next up is tennis. Oh wait, it's not tennis, it's badminton. The concept is the same, but unlike tennis being exclusively doubles, badminton is exclusively singles. Both
That
play
makes
very
no
similarly,
sense.
but badminton is way better.
I'm
Hitting balls
streaming.
feels far more
I'm
satisfying than
streaming.
a ball in tennis, and surprisingly,
Bye.
Dinner should
badminton
be here in a
matches can
half
be quite
hour.
Understood.
intense. It's surprisingly a blast to play, but at the end of the day, it's just a variation of tennis. In any other Wii Sports game, this would be a mode and not its own sport. One third of the sports are virtually the same, and I assume volleyball would be too. There's good news and bad news. The good news is that volleyball does play differently than tennis and badminton. The bad news is it plays as well as using a box jellyfish as a volleyball. The movements are similar to what you'd expect. You push the ball up, you spike it, and you can block. But the Joy-Cons cannot accurately sense the movement. This leads to many actions either not being recognized.
Well, yeah, dude, because you're playing on an emulator. What do you expect? You're playing on a fucking computer. No offense, but I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but you're playing on an emulator. Of course, it's not going to be good. I was having problems with golf on the original Switch. Now, I'm not defending Switch Sports. No, the game's still a shit, but
Or
it has some good ideas that
but
you could
once
just
you do
easily
get an
put in
idea of the
Resort.
movement, it's slow and it drags on. Not a fan of this one. Tennis, Chimbara, and badminton play well. Bowling is underwhelming and oversimplified. The cons cannot accurately sense the movement. And volleyball is an absolute hot mess. But if there's one sport I really wanted to see in a Wii Sports successor, it was soccer. Considering how Wii Sports is defined by the motion controls, it only makes sense for the included leg strap accessory to be used for the new soccer game. So let's get it set up. Okay, don't know why the leg strap is like this. Not sure why I'd need this. Ah, there we go. Let's do this! Well, that's weird. The leg strap seemingly doesn't work. It's literally just a piece of fabric, so there's no way the hardware could be faulty. Okay, get this. You can't even play soccer with the included peripheral. Only a stupid minigame. We have seriously gotten to the
Wait,
point
what?
where Nintendo has become so arrogant that they included an accessory that isn't even fully functional day one. That is legitimately unbelievable. But don't worry, they're including basic functionality in a free update. What's keeping you engaged? I'll tell you what, anything besides this game, if any...
Oh, he's getting
Cole,
pissed.
he's my miracle child. So how does your miracle child get cancer?
I did not want to skip that ad. I don't want people to think I'm an asshole. But listen, I know people have gone through cancer, and I know how that shit feels. I'm just saying. But we gotta react to this video because it's 30 minutes.
other company did this, they would never hear the end of it. But hey, doesn't every developer package a game with an accessory that's not even fully functional day one? Let's see how soccer is anyway. I was optimistic because many stated soccer is the best sport in the game, but personally, I didn't have any fun playing it. The concept is what soccer should be, but there's a stamina meter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna put a stamina meter. This is the exact same reason why I don't like biking in Wii Sports Resort. It's the exact same reason why. It's like just no. Why? And here's the thing: the soccer ball is way too big. This is like playing a mix of soccer but with kinball physics. Yes, you heard me say that right. Kinball physics. Jesus Christ, dude.
If it was used to run fast, that would be fine, but the characters move so slow that running is what should be the walking speed, and to kick, you swing the Joy-Cons. You know what this tells me? It tells me that the game was rushed and was meant to have leg strap support day one.
It's worse that this game came out on my birthday. It's so bad. This game came out on my 18th birthday. You know, I'm not defending this game because it came out. Oh, because it came out on your birthday. Yes, yes. I'm not defending this game. I would have defended Jak 3. I would defend literally Arkham Knight over this shit. I would defend... No, I won't defend Sonic Forces. Never, never Sonic Forces. My hatred for Forces stands. I will defend Crash 4 as much as I don't even... As much as I fucking hate Cortex Castle, I would defend it if it came out on my birthday. But this? No. Screw this, mate. This is bullshit.
But Nintendo just wanted to put it out anyway. It's a bit reminiscent of Rocket League. Many praise soccer here because of that. But if that's the case...
Okay, I forgot Rocket League existed, so don't get angry at me. I forgot about that. I forgot Rocket League existed. But yeah, Rocket League had that physics, but that's because you were using fucking cars. Also, isn't there an option to have a smaller ball? I mean, come on. I know I'm being a bit too demanding, but it's just now common sense at this point.
You know what I'd do? Play freaking Rocket League! And that game is free, well this costs $50. Well, volleyball...
Bullshit. No, it is. Okay, well, maybe it is, but I bought the Ultimate Edition. My brother did. I barely played Rocket League. We have barely played it. Rocket League is, well, maybe free for Nintendo Switch, but for Xbox, no. It is not free. I think it might be. I don't even know if it's free or not. If it's free now. In the past, oh, definitely not.
Volleyball is worse. Soccer is easily the most disappointing. Only 3 of the sports feel polished, and if you include tennis and badminton as one, that's only 2. Bowling is underwhelming, soccer is baffling and disappointing, and volleyball is utter garbage. But if half the sports are good, that likely means the game could probably dodge the ranking of trash. A great presentation can definitely help a game out, so let's see how it is in Switch Sports. Switch Sports takes place in a...
He's literally choosing my least favorite songs of Mario. He's literally choosing the songs I don't want to hear right now just to piss me off. No, I take that back, actually. I'm sorry. He's literally choosing the songs I don't want to hear right now, and it's already making me angry at watching this video. I literally want to click off of it right now, but I'm holding myself back.
Brand new central location, Spoko Square. It's a sporting complex located in a big city.
Can you free roam?
The concept of a central location is good. Wii Sports Resort did this beautifully with Woohoo Island.
Woo Island was big. This looks small, but this better. Is there free roam? Please tell me there's free roam.
Spoko Square consists of primarily sporting arenas, but you'll see things such as stores and restaurants in the background. From a visual standpoint, everything looks quite good. There's a good attention to detail, and the colors are vivid. But here's a problem. Even though Spoko Square looks good visually, it's not an exciting or fun location to center a game around. The reason why I love Nintendo is because their games provide immersive experiences for things you couldn't do or wouldn't do in real life. Well, technically you could replicate some of the things Mario does in New Donk City, but if you did that, expect the...
Technically that kind of replicated Sonic 06. I'm going to explain that in a bit, because the character models look so realistic. That's kind of why I feel like Mario kind of took a note from 06 with this kingdom, which is not a bad thing. But, you know, listen, games... Listen, I know I'm sounding pretty negative, but games, like, some things, like, don't please me anymore. Like, video games, like, some new games just do not please me anymore. Like, nothing, like, video game-based, like, please me. Like, the old golden age of Nintendo. The Wii golden age. Or GameCube, you know, I'm not gonna judge. Or N64 for the rares. But, like, my golden age of Nintendo was Wii Sports Resort. Mario Kart 8 was kind of when that stopped. The golden age was like the good years for me. And I'm not saying nostalgia. I'm calling it the golden age for me. It was MK, Wii Sports Resort. Like, oh, dude.
Buzz to show up. But let's compare Spoko Square to Woohoo Island. What makes Woohoo Island such an excellent location?
No shit, Sherlock. Look how big it is. The only problem with it is that you can't, like, free roam in it. That's the problem with Woohoo Island. You cannot free roam.
Is not only how it ties everything together, but it provides an experience. It's essentially a character of itself, and that's what Miyamoto was going for. Exploring the island through the sports provides a player with a sense of exploration.
No,
Even
to be honest, to me, it kind of does, but I would like to free roam and not be on a timer in a damn plane.
fly over the island and see the island from a grander perspective. Now let's take a look at Spoko Square. While it does tie everything together, it doesn't feel like a character. It's very standard and a very typical location. What's more exciting, exploring a tropical island or
Island.
exploring a convention center?
This isn't a convention center. This looks like I went to Orlando to the Volcano Bay. That's what Spoko Square looks like, and it looks like.
Spoko Square is similar to a typical house you'd see on HGTV. Nice to look at, but there's nothing fun about it. The
Yeah.
music, on the other hand, is a different but similar story. The main theme is pretty good, but the majority of the tracks were able to do something no Nintendo game has ever done before. Ever since the beginning of the decade, I've had sleeping issues. I've tried counting sheep, staying up for 24 hours straight, and a bunch of other things that didn't work. But the soundtrack in Switch Sports completely fixed my sleep schedule. It's made to sound like a speaker in the background, and the proper term for it is diegetic. The relatable term is unbelievably boring. Never did I feel the music enhance the gameplay or hype me up. Even elevator music has more personality, but the best way to describe the entire presentation of Switch Sports is soulless. When I covered Wii Sports Club, there's a very
Look how
specific
soulless the Mii's are as well. Like they don't even I don't see them ducking any personality.
reason why I said the game lacked personality, but wasn't completely devoid. That's because Switch Sports is completely devoid. Let's take a look at getting a strike and spare in Wii Sports Club, and Nintendo Switch Sports.
Great job.
Oh, that's what he means. Okay.
Nice tag.
Spare.
Oh, that's.
Nice throw. Nice one.
Strike.
Oh yeah, that's.
Wii Sports, getting a strike was an incredible feat. In Club, you know you did a good job. In Switch Sports, there's no satisfaction whatsoever. And this lack of personality applies to everything. The UI font and logos are oversimplified. Great. Do we really have to go back to this again?
No.
The announcer is as melodic as an alarm clock. If Nintendo Switch Sports wasn't tied to the Wii Sports series, I guarantee you nobody would even care about it. That's because the game doesn't even resemble a Nintendo game. Wii Sports Club isn't exactly what most would call a gorgeous game, but there's no denying that's a Nintendo game. Switch Sports, on the other hand, legitimately looks like a Wii Sports bootleg. Never mind, I take that back. Even bootleg games have more life put into them. The fact that a shady, illegitimate Mario game made by a team of Igor Pavel and Dimitri has more personality than a game made by Nintendo goes to showcase how downhill they have become. But it's not just limited to Switch Sports. I've noticed most of Nintendo's casual games on the Switch have a very distinct unbranded.
I'll bear back. Someone's calling me. Well, I had to call my mom. Hello? Yeah? Alright. I will be right back. Hey, yeah. Um. you get you're actually some kind of streaming? What a fucking prick. No, not. No, I'm talking about my brother. Sorry about that. So hold on.
Look, Tom, all the Labo games, Clubhouse games, and Game Builder Garage, they're perfectly fine games, but here's what I don't get. Why is Nintendo so adamant about taking down fan games and anything that uses their franchises, only to then go for a great value art direction? It's like if Coca-Cola did everything possible to wipe out anything related to their brand, only to heavily market unbranded cola. That's not saying these games need to be part of an established series, but the characters and presentations are so devoid of creativity, and it boggles my mind. The sports are a mixed bag. The presentation is lifeless. Things aren't looking pretty, but maybe, just maybe, the content is packing.
Don't even say that. Just get to the
The Wii
point.
Sports games are made for multiplayer, and Switch Sports is no exception. My pal Riley was overjoyed to have a break from Kablooey to enjoy some Nintendo Switch Sports. Badminton is very fun. He had fun with bowling, even though I found it underwhelming. But our experience with soccer and volleyball remained the same. The most important thing he wanted me to know is that he agrees that the music is suckish. Another thing that's worth bringing up is that some sports only support 2 players. All of them should have support for up to 4 players, but if there's any that would benefit from more players, it would be soccer. It's clear soccer isn't even finished. Not to mention, each player needs their own user account on the Switch. Why?
What?
Well, the game is significantly more fun in multiplayer.
No, this game is
I didn't play
shit.
it for long.
Never
Then I
mind.
went back to Wii Sports Club and found the experience to be way more fun.
This game is shit.
If you don't have any of the Wii Sports games, Switch Sports is somewhat serviceable. Not only do I say that because the Wii Sports games are better, but they have way more content. Wii Sports Resort and even Club have many training mini-games, so in addition to the sports, you have many different ways to play. But in
I'll be right
Switch
back.
Sports,
God fucking damn it. I'm about to get mad. Like, I'm really getting fucking mad. Over nothing. Literally nothing. Well, this game other than that.
C is what you get. The only extra modes are bowling spin control and soccer shootout. And guess what? It manages to lack the most basic of features. Wow, I'm so
Yeah,
surprised.
Nintendo's not good anymore. I can't even... I don't think I can watch this reaction anymore, you guys. I don't think I can fucking do it. I don't think I can fucking do it, dude. Like, it's getting in my head, bro. If there was only 2 of the sub things, yeah, Nintendo, you suck now at this point. I'm sorry, but your games are just shit. This is why just fire Tanabe, dude. Like, come on, man. Who's making these games this is literally shit. Like, oh my god, I can't. I'm sorry. I love Origami King, don't get me wrong. But I just can't. Now you got the Aiden Fury coming out. This is so not... You know, I'm sorry, but I loved Origami King, but I'm excited for Origami King Refolded. That mod's gonna be better than this. And I know Nintendo likes to shut down fan games. Bullshit. Try me. I'm not even making a fan game. I'm making a mod. I don't even care, dude. This is so fucked up now. That Nintendo is dipped in this quality. Say what you want about Kirby Star Allies. I don't give a shit. But the fact that these games are not running at 60 FPS, yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, I see it as a problem. People have their own opinions, guys. Keep that in mind. The fact that it doesn't run at 60 FPS really, like, I can't give Kirby Star Allies a 10 out of 10. I used to love that fucking game. I can't, simply because it's not 60 FPS. I am bashing a fucking game on frame rate that has been out for like 5 years. I'm doing it because I'm sick of this shit. I'm not going to be the one that's just going to be like, alright, I'm just going to accept what you guys throw at me. No, I'm sick of being that. Give me what I want. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna like bash on Forgotten Land for a second. The fact that when I was playing that demo, the fact that I can only do like one fucking move for the abilities, or like barely any of the moves in 2D games, is fucking disappointing. And I know people are gonna say, wait, but you know, it's the first 3D Kirby game. No, shut the fuck up. Have you guys forgot Kirby Battle Royale existed? That game had more moves for abilities. Why are there only 12 in Forgotten Land? Are you kidding me? 12! I'm thankful we got new ones, but the mouthful mode, oh my god, the mouthful mode is the exact same problem I have with the Robobot armor. Way too overused.
Surprised. If you play the game locally,
At least you don't have to lose your ability for it, but keep going.
there's no unlockables, no skill level, nothing. Just the sports. Nintendo hosted a global playtest, which they strictly prohibited sharing footage from. That right there was a major red flag. What I assumed is that the game would launch unfinished and lack content, just like Mario Tennis Aces, but the game surprised me in a way I never could have even imagined. Switch Sports has online multiplayer.
Did that motherfucker just
Never
fall?
could have even imagined.
No, get rid of that. Completely get rid of that. Screw the falling thing. That's stupid as shit.
Switch Sports has online multiplayer. Wii Sports Club did as well, but the main game was local.
I want my dog to bite the hell out of that squirrel.
I assume the same would apply to Switch Sports, but as it turns out, the entire game is centered around online. The good news is that the online works pretty well without prominent lag. The bad news is that Switch Sports is designed to be a game as a service. This is where all the unlockables and content are. I would maybe be more forgiving if the online provided...
I don't care about the ad, not the...
a solid and engaging experience. But as the anthem goes for Switch Sports, how low can you go? How low can you go? Let's say you want to unlock your own hairstyle or glasses. There's no way to do so unless you grind. You get points to unlock items, but what you get is completely random.
No! How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up? You can have like a shop, and then you can have like a car. Here's... There's something that nobody's seeing right now. So here's the thing. Keep the randomized thing. But have an entire shop that has the items, and then have one specific set of items be a randomized thing that switches. That would be cool. Because it would be a 50-50 even balance. Exact same reason why I don't like Star Allies' fucking Dream Rod thing.
Actually play the game for hours to unlock what you want. And guess what? Unlockables rotate. So to unlock everything, you'd need to play the game constantly. You can apparently unlock items without having a Switch Online membership, but it's designed to be so limited that it pressures you into getting the online service. You already bought the game, why not throw another $20 to get the service? Really convenient considering the...
Listen, I'm a guy that has Xbox Live Gold, and I will agree, just make that shit free.
$40 price tag. Why is it that EA is one of the most hated companies for how anti-consumer they are, but when Nintendo does similar things, they just get a free pass? What? Because they have popular franchises and likable characters?
You know what? I'm gonna stop you right fucking there. Because here's the thing. EA actually made good fucking games. EA made good fucking games. Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2, as well as PvZ 2. The PvZ games is what I'm talking about here. EA actually made good games. I'm so fucking sick of people saying EA is bad. Sure, you can say about the company, but at least you gotta give them some slack that they made good fucking games. I still hate Nintendo saying that they're not good anymore, but at least they make good fucking games. It pisses me off, dude. And I'm getting mad over a fucking video game, and I'm 18 years old. I'm an adult, and I can't believe I'm getting mad at this shit. This is Garden Warfare. When BFN dropped, that game was fucking awful. That game is shit. Even PvZ 3. Oh my god, that game is so fucking bad. PopCap Seattle, what the fuck are you doing, man? Come on, bro. PvZ 2, I will agree, has a good soundtrack that's equal as PvZ 1. I'm just saying. I don't know I'm going off topic of the wrong thing, but listen, EA, it should not be that hated. It shouldn't. Do you want your fucking Madden games or not? Do you want your fucking...
That's what they want you to think. Luigi, our Switch console's doing very well. What should we do next? Well, Mario, I had a pretty good idea to involve microtransactions. Wario told us to name them Nintoken. That way they'd seem cutesy even though...
I'm skipping now that he's being...
And being a game... Games like Super Mario Maker 2 and Splatoon have many features locked behind online as well.
No, Mario Maker 2 is so much lacked content. I'm sorry, the Mario Maker games have lacked content.
Well, the reason why it's acceptable in those games is because they're clearly designed and marketed as online experiences. Wii Sports is defined by local multiplayer and being a game anyone can understand and have fun with. Switch Sports never indicated it would be a service game, and people love Wii Sports because it's something even their grandparents can play. Switch Sports
I'll be there in a
is
second.
the last game that should ever be a service, and even if it wasn't,
I
would play at a family gathering because I'd probably get disowned.
What? What? I know, I told you I'm streaming.
So far we've established that Nintendo Switch Sports can be fun, but fails due to extremely limited customization, a presentation as lively as a graveyard, and next to no content. Not only that, but the game being centered around online without any indicator it would, is flat out deceptive. So what's the verdict? Never have I been at a loss for words as much as I have
Get
been
fucking
with
on with
Sports.
it.
Bad Nintendo
No
games
offense.
do exist, but they usually fail due to poor game design and features that aren't thought out well. It was almost never due to the lack of trying, but after playing Switch Sports, I was in for an absolutely rude awakening. As a Wii Sports successor, it fails miserably.
No shit, Sherlock.
It has half as many sports as Wii Sports Resort, but even going back to the original, the sports are nowhere near as good. The 5 sports in Wii Sports were all very different and intuitive. It also
And they were better.
included the training game, even if it is faded. 2016, and see how they feel about them. The reason why Switch Sports doesn't deliver is because it's an overall worse experience than its predecessors. I had an idea what the game could be like, but one thing I often questioned was the unbelievably high review scores. Opinions are subjective, I get that, but giving an 8 out of 10 to a game that didn't even have the servers up for review is the main problem. Take a look at this. Nintendo games aren't unfinished, they're just incomplete. Whoa, watch out, Einstein. This guy obviously knows what he's talking about. Here's my solution. For those concerned about the definition of what makes a game unfinished,
I'm not even getting into this. I'm just gonna end it because I can't fucking react to this. I can't anymore. I'm actually, like, mad at this fucking thing. I'm sorry, guys. I can't finish this because, well, I gotta eat dinner and I'm just done. I'm done. Fuck this shit.